Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today I have yet another set of monster cards that you're going to want to add to your collection as Dungeon Master, and that is Dungeons & Dragons creature and NPC cards. Now, in the other sets that I've covered and I'm going to cover, most of the monster cards are more of your mainstream monsters that your players are more than likely to encounter. But of course, in those sets, in the card sets anyways, they skip over NPCs and other creatures. And let's take a quick look and see briefly just some of the cards that are going to be in this. So first of all, this set is actually made up of two different books, the Monster Manual and Volo's Guide. Okay, so out of the Monster Manual, we have a lot of different monsters. I mean, look at how many are in here. There is a ton of creatures from the Monster Manual, and it's 121 different ones, such as the owl. What else we got here? We've got like an awakened tree, but here, of course, there's no illustration. Unlike the owl, the awakened tree has no illustration because they just didn't have one available at the time. What else we got? A badger. They even got swarm creatures like a swarm of centipedes or a swarm of beetles or insects. Oh, here we go. Here's a swarm of bats where they actually have the illustration on the back. What else here? There's more swarms. There's all sorts of swarms in here. Swarm of quippers, which are basically like piranha. And of course, you've got your cool giant creatures like the giant frog, no illustration, giant hyena, giant lizard, giant octopus. There are a bunch of creatures in here. If it's basically anything other than a giant, if it's a giant something, it's probably going to be in this set for you. Camels, cats, constrictor snakes, crabs. There's a couple cool things like death dog's going to be in here. What else we got? Of course, the mammoth I said earlier. Giant centipede. You're also going to have, which I was kind of surprised, you're going to have your wormlings like gold dragon wormling, the bronze dragon wormling. I was kind of surprised that these were actually included in this because we're talking like challenge rating 2 and 3. Got a beholder zombie, challenge rating 5. Behir, and they fight dragons. Giant spider, copper worm dragling. Medusa, challenge rating 6. Kind of interesting that she's not in one of the other sets. But this is just an example of just some of the Monster Manual creatures that are going to be in here. And some of them are full-on recognizable monsters. So it's kind of interesting how they decided to split it up. Now, we also have, from the Monster Manual, a lot of the NPCs. Here we go. Such as the Acolyte, Berserker, the Cultist, Commoner, Spy, Thug. This time we actually got a picture for the Thug. Scout, Noble, Druid, Cult Fanatic, and the list goes on. They even have the high-level ones from the Monster Manual, such as the Archmage, which I believe is considered a pretty high-level wizard, just like the monster cards that I did previously. On the bottom of all these cards, it's going to give you the challenge rating. In this case, for the Archmage, it's challenge rating 12. It's going to show you the XP value for that particular creature, which this is an NPC, and his XP is 8,400 if they can manage to defeat him. That's a lot of XP. And also, too, what book and what page he's going to be found, so you can source out any other information as needed. So the Archmage can be found in the Monster Manual on page 342. Now let's take a quick look at some of the monsters and NPCs from the Volo's Guide. Let's see, some of the NPCs we're going to have, let's see, a Blackguard, Champion, the Swashbuckler. All right, we're talking some cool stuff. Apprentice Wizard, very similar to the Acolyte. We've got some high-level NPCs such as the Archdruid, no picture. It kind of drives me crazy they don't have an illustration on there, but that's not too bad though. Enchanter, Evoker, Illusionist, ooh, the Kraken Priest. So there's definitely quite a few, and there's a bunch. There's 182 cards in total. From the Monster Manual, you're looking at 21 different NPCs. You're looking at 121 different monsters, creatures. From Volo's, you're looking at 23 different NPCs and 17 different monsters. What kind of monsters, pray tell? Well, let's take a quick look. Let's see, swarm of rot grubs. Ugh. There's some more dinosaurs like the Dimetrodon, the Hadrosaurus, the Brontosaurus, Stegosaurus, Velociraptor. Well, there's the Stegosaurus right there. So, ooh, there's also, they even have the drakes in here, like the green guard drake, the blue guard drake. So that's kind of cool that they're in this expansion right here. Aurochs, cow, dolphin. Again, no illustration. Always drives me crazy when they don't have an illustration. There wasn't anybody there at the time that could just quick draw a dolphin real quick so they could put it on the back of the card. I don't know. But I'm nitpicking at that point. But this set is really good. And quite frankly, if I had to choose between getting maybe the monster manual or the monster cards 0 through 5 or 6 through 16, I might actually run out and for 20 bucks get the creature and NPC cards. Now, there's not as... The monsters aren't as cool, but there's a lot of high-level NPCs, and there is a good sprinkling of monsters, a few fairly high-level, that could really challenge your players. And especially if you're just starting out, if your players are just starting out, the Dungeons & Dragons creature and NPC cards would probably actually be one of the first sets you actually want to go to. So this video is a little bit out of order, and admittedly, I should have done this before the monster 0 through 5 cards and 6 through 16 cards, but that's okay. Now, you know, if you already ran out and bought the other ones, dang it, man, I'm sorry, I kind of let you down on that. But that's okay. If you're going to get another set of cards, go jump out and get this first. Hopefully, you hadn't run right out and got one of the other sets of monster cards. Go grab this first and add it to your collection. Now, of course, remember, there's no replacement for the actual book, the actual monster manual, and the actual Volo's guide, because in those books, they're going to have absolutely everything you're going to want to know on those monsters, all the background and the lore and everything. Plus, there's extra tidbits in both those books that you're just not going to find in the cards themselves. Well, that's pretty much it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'm Dave Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, telling you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.